Has everyone been enjoying Kirby Air Riders? We have. It's an incredible improvement over the original, with better game feel and significantly more content. The road trip mode lives up to its name, a real trip in terms of presentation and story. It's Sakurai's return to the Kirby series, and he did not hold back at all. The game is truly a celebration of the whole Kirby franchise, even if Adeline and Forgotten Land fans might feel a tad forgotten. But, just like with Kid Icarus Uprising and Super Smash Bros. 4 before it, if Sakurai moves on to making a new Super Smash Bros. Game after this, then we could see an influx of new Kirby content in Super Smash Bros. 6. And that could include a new fighter, but just who would it be? That's what we wanted to ask you all, and number one was absolutely not a surprise in the slightest. So, just like we did with the Mario video, let's start with first place and then jump back to 10th and work our way up from there. Of course it would be Bandana Dee, the player 4 of the Kirby series. Even though Sakurai decided to make him unlockable in Air Riders for some reason, we think he would still choose him over a regular Waddle Dee as a fighter for the next Super Smash Bros. At the very least, we think Nintendo and HAL would force him to. Forget Player 4, Bandana Waddle Dee has worked his way up to Player 2 in most modern Kirby games. He just has to make it into Smash. And we know you all feel the same because he tripled the amount of votes that second place got. It was an absolute landslide for this spear-wielding, hat-wearing best friend of Kirby. But let's say that Sakurai really didn't want to add Bandana Waddle Dee. Who else could be in the running? Well, if it's based on popularity, then your votes will reveal all. Let's jump back down the list to number 10. At the bottom of the pack, we have Kirby's latest buddy, Elfilin, from Kirby and the Forgotten Land. He missed out on appearing in Kirby Air Riders, but maybe that was just too new for the project plan of that game. That shouldn't be a problem for a new Super Smash Bros., but what exactly would Elfilin do? Well, spoilers for a 2022 game, Elfilin is one part of a powerful being called Fecto Elfilis, who absolutely can fight. He can pretty easily kick Kirby's behind even, and Elfilin is shown to absorb a part of his soul at the end of the game, so perhaps Elfilin here could call upon many of the moves that Elfilis could use. We've seen characters like Ness borrow from their allies for movesets, so we don't think it's too out there for Elfilin to do the same. Speaking of Elfilin's dark, messed up counterpart, Fecto Elfilis, he himself didn't do too badly in the polls either, earning himself 15th place, bottom of the honourable mentions. Good for him. Speaking of dark, messed up antagonists, we have Dark Matter, the face of the Dark Matter trilogy. We got votes for both Dark Matter and specifically the Dark Matter Blade, but we combine the two as you can't really do one without the other. The Blade form has more moveset variety and so works better as the default form, while the real Dark Matter is perfect Final Smash and special material. But you don't have to just take our brief thoughts here on it. On the Source Gaming website we have a Dream Smasher article by guest They Who Remain, which we will link below, and you can check it out after this video is over. Another Kirby character that we've done a Dream Smasher for, this one by staff member Hamada, Daroach is everyone's favourite Phantom Thief. He's become a recurring anti-hero since his debut in Squeak Squad, and it's easy to see why. He's just really cool looking, and fits perfectly into the Kirby series as a frenemy. Utilising all of his thief tools like the Ice Laser, Daroach Bomb and Triple Star, Daroach can be quite the tricky fighter, and if Super Smash Bros. Brings in his ability to steal items from his opponents like he could do in Air Riders, he would make for a very rage-baity type character. Check out the Dream Smasher after this video if you want to see more. We've had the real Dark Matter on this list already, but he just can't compete with the fake one. Gooey was the original Player 2 of the Kirby franchise, before King Dedede or Bandana Dee. And really, he's more of a Player 2 than either of them. He was designed to play just like Kirby, copy abilities and all. The only real difference is that Gooey grabs enemies with his tongue instead of sucking them in. Now, would this transition over to Super Smash Bros.? Kirby is already one of the longest characters to develop thanks to all of the hats, so adding another character that needs the same amount of attention might be too much. We actually think he could make an interesting Echo Fighter. You have him be Kirby, but without the ability to copy. It would make him different, giving him a consistent standard special. Of course, he could also be fairly unique as well with his own dark matter abilities. It just depends on what angle Sakurai would want to take with this lovable blob and his goofy little smile. It's Rip-Roaring Rick! Have you seen how fast he moves in Kirby Air Riders? He's like whoosh, zoom, dash! Putting Sonic to shame. Funniest thing I've ever seen. Rick is the first of Kirby's animal buddies, and by far the most well-known. This land-based hamster-like being has all manner of copy abilities he can call upon for a moveset, giving him all the same versatility as Kirby. Of course, we don't think Rick would be alone, and some of you didn't either, as he got plenty of votes that included the other two primary animal buddies, Kine and Ku. Kine showing up when Rick falls in water and maybe for one of the specials, and then Ku serving as Rick's up special, would ensure that the original animal buddy trio all get the attention that fans want them to have. Rick is one of my personal choices for the next Super Smash Bros. Because he's just so frickin' adorable. Look how fluffy he is in Air Riders. But he isn't my first choice. That actually goes to our next entry. Heiress to the Holtman Corporation, Susie is Kirby's frenemy from Planet Robobot, and has since become another popular recurring character for the franchise. That's part of why I would like to see her make it into Super Smash Bros. Planet Robobot is my favourite of the modern Kirby games, and I'd love to see it get that extra attention. But also, it's because Susie would absolutely come equipped with a Robobot, whether it's her own personal one or the iconic one. I think that she might use the design of the former, but the abilities of the latter, and I presented this myself in another Dream Smasher article that you can find on the Source Gaming website. Another read for after this video is over. And I think the idea appeals to Sakurai. Super Smash Bros. Is a game full of archetypical fighting game characters represented through Nintendo's cast, and the little girl in a giant robot is a fighting game trope that Super Smash Bros. Doesn't yet have. Susie would be ideal for it in my opinion. But we still have 3 characters to go, so let's take a look at what's next. She was snubbed from Kirby Air Riders, and many of you believe Sakurai should right this wrong by including her in the next Super Smash Bros. Game. Adeline is certainly an odd duck in this series. She's one of Kirby's core friends, even being the player 4 in Kirby 64. But she appears very infrequently. Even in Super Smash Bros. She has never actually appeared, not as a sticker or trophy or spirit. Is it because she's the only human in the whole series, or was it because she just disappeared from the franchise entirely for nearly 2 decades? Well, whatever the reason, Adeline came back in Kirby Star Allies and began showing up again in various Kirby-related media, so she's back into relevancy even if she missed out on Air Riders. Her painting powers would give her a lot of moveset potential in Super Smash Bros., and we think it's very likely that she would be joined by Ribbon, the fairy, as the two are often shown together. Alright, only 2 left, but before we get to them, let me pause and say thank you for all the support the last 2 videos have gotten, and please subscribe and comment if you like this one. You won't miss out on any of the future episodes in this top 10 series or the polls to vote if you subscribe. And the more interactions this video gets, the more it will spread and the more opinions we can get for the next video. It's a win-win scenario. Alright, on to number 3. Arguably the star of the modern Kirby era, Magolor was introduced in Kirby's Return to Dreamland as a secret antagonist, tricking Kirby and the gang into fighting his battles. Upon his defeat and then being saved by our favourite Puffball, Magolor turned over a new leaf and became a theme park owner, bringing joy and fun to Dreamland. But has he truly given up on his desire for power? A lot of modern lore of Kirby seems to end up back at Magolor somehow, even in Forgotten Land, which is a game he doesn't even appear in. Whatever story the Kirby series is currently trying to tell, Magolor seems front and centre in it, and that fascinates fans, making him one of the most popular Kirby characters at the moment. And this has been going on for a while. In Japan, Magolor was the second most requested Kirby character for Super Smash Bros. After Bandana Dee, and fans were thrilled to see him added to Kirby Air Riders. And, like many Kirby characters it turns out, we also have a Dream Smasher article made for him, this one also by Hamada. So add that to the list of articles to read post this video. Man, the Kirby series is really easy to make a Super Smash Bros. Moveset for, although I guess this shouldn't be a surprise given the original Super Smash Bros. 64 is very much inspired off of Kirby Superstars. And Magolor is not the final Dream Smasher we have for the Kirby series either. Looking at the honourable mentions now, first up we have the second member of the modern Kirby trio, Taranza. This tragic spider-like frenemy of Kirby's debuted in Triple Deluxe, and his story is very memorable. Star Allies made him playable, and from that Hamada made another Dream Smasher for you all to check out, the final one for this video. Prince Fluff, the forgotten hero of the Kirby series, almost made it into the top 10. Kirby Epic Yarn is one of the best looking games on Nintendo Wii, and since then Prince Fluff has been a popular request to return. He just needs a new modern appearance to really push him up into relevancy, and I hope he gets it because his moveset potential is quite high. Morpho Knight is the latest Meta Knight clone to join the series, and the franchise's current super boss. This red butterfly shocked the fandom in its debut, with the implications that it offered to the lore, and then Morpho Knight proceeded to kick every player's butt. One caveat if he does make it into Super Smash Bros. Though, many of you who voted for him don't want him to be an Echo Fighter. And well, he certainly has enough moves to avoid that fate. And lastly, we have Chef Kawasaki, who was thrown back into relevance in Kirby Air Riders. This funny chef is a fan favourite thanks to his prominent role in the anime, and Sakurai clearly has a soft spot for him, being the only sub-boss playable in Air Riders, despite Sakurai apparently ruling them out. He's almost certainly one of Sakurai's favourite Kirby characters, given that he already got to appear as an assist trophy in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But we don't think he's Sakurai's absolute favourite. We don't know that for sure, of course, but I would bet that our second place winner is definitely in the running. This villainous jester Marx takes the number 2 spot, and the final one for this video. He's already appeared in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as a boss that players can fight, but as Air Riders clearly showed us, that does not mean he can't also be playable. Seriously, Sakurai made an entire Robo-DDD to justify why DDD couldn't be both playable and a boss, but for Marx he just shrugged and let him have both. If that's not done out of love for the original Trickster God, then I don't know what it is. Thanks to Kirby Star Allies, Marx has an entire moveset ready to go in Super Smash Bros., and the final smash could easily call upon any one of his true form powers, given how many are massive screen-wide attacks. While King Dedede may have been the series' first antagonist, he very quickly became an ally of Kirby's and was shown to be a good guy deep down. Not Marx though. Sakurai keeps falling back on this scoundrel as Kirby's biggest foe, and if Sakurai ever had to add a true Kirby villain to the playable Super Smash Bros. Roster, it's unlikely that he would immediately go to Marx. His special evil little guy. And that does it for the top 10 Kirby characters you all wanted to see in Super Smash Bros. Kirby Air Riders already felt like a celebration of all things Kirby, and I think it gave us all a good idea of who would be the first choice when it comes to a new Super Smash Bros. Game led by Sakurai. Second choice. The first choice is Bandana Dee. I'm sorry, but he might be the most requested character for Smash 6 Full stop. There is no chance he doesn't make it in, so we'll see if Smash 6 can get 2 Kirby newcomers or not. Anywho, with Kirby out of the way, we can now reveal which series won out on the second poll we did, as we asked all of you to tell us which series you wanted a video on next. And well, let's play a little game to make that reveal. Who's that series? It's Pokemon! The Pokemon video will be going live to ring in the new year, and we hope you all look forward to it. A link to that poll is down in the description below. Go and vote now so that you don't forget. Voting will end on December 14th, so make sure your voice is heard before then. As always, please share it around so we can get as many votes as possible and give you the most accurate results possible. As always, we want to thank our patrons. The $5 plus tier are appearing on screen right now. If you want to know how you can join them, please check the description down below. Please help us survive this YouTube landscape by liking and commenting down below. Engagement really is the best way to push content up nowadays. And always make sure to subscribe if you haven't already so that you always remember to return to the source.